Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk more about the Lion. So we are pretty much midway through December, midway through the event. There's only 9 days or so, no, 14 days left of the event, and we're just checking how everybody is doing. How is everybody doing with the Lion tank? And we're going to really sort of dig deep into, is it really worth it, especially when you compare the Lion to some of the other snow globe tanks back in the day, because some of the snow globe tanks were like overpowered, where the Lion is complete opposite. It's a good tank, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near as OP as some of the other tanks back in the day. And we're also going to talk about how much I had to spend to get the Lion tank on my main account. Now, I've gone through how much gold it would cost me if we just bought the crates like these, how much it would have cost me. But that was on my press account. Of course, I did want to get it on my main account, and we're going to talk through why I got it on my main account. So at once, how much did it cost me? How much did this tank cost me? Well, for a start, I did not put any money in whatsoever. The bonus of having a lot of collectible tanks is, of course, you do get gold. Now, if I go over to tier 10 and even tier 9, and you can even add tier 8 in there, I used to have pretty much all the tanks. I had all of, especially when we're talking about tier 9 and tier 10. Let's just talk tier 10 for now. Let's just talk tier 10. So take away tier 9s. Now, I had all of the tanks, literally all the tier 10 tanks. As you can see, I only have a few, and some of them I won back. I sold and actually won back with the snow globes. There is a couple, of course, that I would never sell, something like the XM, the Object 777, but things like the VK90, again, I won that back, and the Object 268. These are some of the tanks. So the Object 268, the XM, and the Object 777 are tanks that I've never sold. Now, there's a lot of tanks. Now, I can even click here, and you can see all of these tanks, all of the latest tanks at least. This is all that I had to sell. Of course, you can see a tier 7 there, quite a few tier 8s. We go down, keep going down, keep going down. All of these tier 8s I've actually sold. The Badger I've sold, love the tank. The STRV sold the tank, love the tank. Again, the Kampfpanzer, the AMX 31ER, I love. Chieftain Mark 6, I love. Caro 45T, Super Conqueror, all of these tanks I have sold, and we're still going. We're still going. M60, 158, and then that is about it, I think. I didn't go this far. So basically from the M60, I think it might have even really been from here. These are all of the tanks that I had to sell to get the Lion. Now, that is a lot of tanks. Was it worth it? If you look at it in hindsight, no, it probably wasn't worth it, because that is a lot of tanks to sell to get one tank. Yeah, just one tank, because that is all it is. You're only getting one tank. So was it worth selling all those tanks for one tank? For me, like in hindsight, as I've just said, no, it's not, because that is a lot of gold. But for me, the way I see it is a lot of these tanks are tanks that I don't play. Again, yeah, there is some tier 10 tanks that I've sold that are better than the Lion. But the way I see it is, I've owned these tanks. I've got them. I've played with them. Don't really play them too much more. And I can always get them back. I can always get them back. All I've got to do is get the gold, and I can get them back just like that. Whereas the Lion, I wanted to play the tank. I enjoyed the tank. I don't think it is fantastic. I think it's good. But, I can get the Lion right now, while it is one of the rarest tanks in the game, because a lot of people are going to either have to spend a lot of money, or they just won't be able to get the tank, and I could get that right now. And, once the event goes, then I may not be able to get the tank for a very, very long time. So that was my logic in getting the tank, you know. Like, yes, I sold a lot of tanks. Yes, I sold a hell of a lot of tanks, but at least I've got a tank now that is new, that probably won't come for sale for at least the next 6 months. Like, I reckon it may be even a little bit longer than that, maybe even until next year, like the end of the year. So that was my logic. And if I do manage to get a bit of gold, which, you know, you can get some gold every now and again from events or stuff like that, and then I will be able to get one of these or a few of these tier 10s back. I'm not too bothered about the tier 8s, not really too bothered about the tier 9s, but at least I will be able to get some of the tier 10s back. Now, again, another logic for me is because I am a little bit lucky. I do get that, and I know a lot of people don't have as much luck because I am a contributor and I do have a press account. So again, that was something I did think about is, you know, yes, I'm selling the tanks, but I can still play them. I've got a press account, so I can still go and play these tanks on my press account. Do I really need them on my main account? Not really, because most of the time now I play more of my press account than I do my main account, because it's got all the tanks. It literally has every single tank in the game. So, you know, and the moment that I'm no longer a contributor, I know I gave it up before, but then I've sort of gone back to being a contributor. The moment, I think the next time I quit being a CC would probably be the moment that I quit the game in general. So I kind of look at it and think, you know what, you know, I can still play my press account. I could sell all my tanks on my account, but I've still got my press account. So that's my mindset. That's where I looked at it. Like, yes, I'm selling a lot of tanks, but at the end of the day, I haven't spent a single penny. And there's going to be people out there that have spent hundreds to get this tank because they haven't sold any tank whatsoever. And again, you know, some of the tanks that I have sold, let's just go back. You know, some of these I'm never going to play again. Like the Caliban, don't like it, I hate it. You know, I'm not going to play it on my main account unless I'm making a video. But again, I can go on my press account. I'm not going to miss it on my main account. The Rev, you know, it's not a bad tank, but I'm not going to play it. The FV, the Senlac, not going to play it. The Viperia, the TS60, the Kanonen Jag Panzer. I'm not saying all these tanks are bad. It's just tanks that I don't play and I'm not going to miss. You know, fucking the Object 590, IS-3 Defender, SU-130, SU-130 PM. Again, I'm not saying that these are really bad tanks, but they're tanks that I'm not going to miss. Of course, there are some tanks, like the Badger. Of course, I'm going to miss tanks like this. But again, I can always get them back if I really wanted to. What I've got to do is, you know, sell a few more tier 8s, sell a few more tier 7s to get that 15k gold. And if I really wanted to, I could get that back. So right now, for example, let's just go to tier 8, for example. And there are some tanks in here. The Centurion, you know, decent tank. Am I going to play it a lot? Probably not. The Bazonte, am I going to play it? Probably not. And then you've got some of these tanks like the ground tank. Am I going to play it? Probably not. Could I sell it? Probably. So I've only got to sell 4 or so tanks and then in tier 8, and then I could get my a tier 10 back. So that is probably what I'm going to end up doing anyway. I'm only going to keep, like, even this tank. I sold it, managed to win it back. Like, I can't get rid of it. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad tank by any means, but yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know in the comments how much you had to spend to get the Lion. How many tanks did you have to sell, or how much money did you have to put in to get this newest the newest tier 10 in Blitz? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.